Okay. Avinnash, I want to come to you, and when we're talking about investment opportunities, looking at where the large caps are valued at, but when we talk about the mid cap and the small cap space, what about investment opportunities there?
I think clearly, I think if you look at the kind of price erosion in the large caps, I think that itself has been quite sharp. So I think, if somebody wants to build a portfolio of mid caps, I would say that out of ₹100 investment, say 20% can be allocated for mid caps. Here, I think the private sector banks, something like a Federal Bank or maybe a Karnataka Bank, we mentioned about Motehrson Sumi previously on the show. I think clearly, I think within auto components, housing finance companies also, a Repco Home Finance, typically a LIC Housing Finance. I would say that clearly use a sectoral approach and not a mid cap or a large cap approach, because I think clearly this market is going to be offering stock specific opportunities. But I think clearly the move first has to come from the large caps, Priyanka, and I would be more comfortable on the large caps initially.
Yeah, true. But when our viewers or investors, when they're looking at the stock markets and they're seeing behaviors of the stocks, looking at how large caps are performing, even the top companies right now in a falling market growing by about 1.5%. And when you look at the small cap and you see those stocks and they're growing by 8 to 7, between 7 to 8%, what do you do?
I think clearly, it's definitely not a bad idea to put money in mid caps. But as I mentioned, I think one has to look at quality managements and quality stocks, and within growing sectors where obviously the debt on the balance sheet is not very large. So here again, I would like to reiterate that even mid cap IT companies, something like a Hexaware or a KPIT Cummins, or typically even from the road sector, something like an IRB Infra or IL&FS Transport. I think there are lots of opportunities, but I think the investors should take a slightly longer term horizon, because this market would reward only those investors who actually take a time window of at least 1.5 years. I think this is a good time to build a portfolio of mid cap stocks, provided the time horizon is slightly medium to long term.
Okay.